You're standing in the grocery store. You pick up a box, flip it over to read the ingredients, and without thinking about it, you hold it out a little further than that, arm fully extended, squinting slightly, tilting the box toward the light. You never used to do that. The box didn't change. The light didn't change. Something inside your eyes did, quietly, on a schedule you never agreed to, without sending you a single notification. This happens to almost everyone, at almost exactly the same age, and it's the smallest, gentlest warning shot of something much bigger. 40 is the birthday we've decided to joke about. Over the hill. Black balloons. A card with a tombstone on it. We treat it as a punchline because the alternative, taking it seriously, is a little frightening. But something genuinely, measurably happens to a human being around the age of 40. Not one thing, a dozen systems all quietly renegotiating their contracts with you at the same time. Your eyes, your muscles, your skin, the way you experience an entire year of your life. There's even a happiness curve, a real one, tracked across more than 100 countries, that bottoms out at almost exactly this age, and underneath all of it sits a myth about your metabolism that has been lying to you since you were a teenager. The answer to why everything changes is not what you think. It's not decline, it's something stranger, and honestly, more useful. But before we get there, you need to understand what turning 40 actually is, because your whole model of it is probably wrong. Most people picture aging as a slope, a smooth, gentle ramp downhill, a little worse each year, all the way to the end. That picture is comforting, and it is almost completely false. Aging isn't a slope, it's a series of cliffs, long flat stretches where nothing seems to happen, followed by sudden drops where several things change at once, and 40 sits right at the edge of one of the biggest cliffs of your adult life. To understand why, you have to understand what your body has actually been doing for you this whole time, because most people have no idea. You tend to think of your body as a thing that just exists, sitting there holding you up, but your body is a construction crew that never sleeps. Right now, as you watch this, it is replacing dead skin, rebuilding muscle fiber, manufacturing collagen, patching microscopic damage in your DNA, and repaving the lining of your blood vessels. Trillions of tiny repairs, every single day for free while you think about literally anything else. And for the first few decades of your life, that crew works under warranty, a biological warranty. Everything gets fixed fast, fixed well, and fixed without you noticing. You can stay up all night, eat garbage, skip every workout, and wake up basically fine. You've probably tested this. It worked. Here's the uncomfortable engineering behind that warranty. Evolution does not actually care whether you live to 80. It cares whether you survive and reproduce. Every expensive repair system in your body was tuned to keep you in peak condition through your reproductive years, roughly your teens through your 30s. After that, from evolution's ice-cold accounting perspective, you've done your job. The warranty was never designed to last forever. It was designed to get you to here. So what happens when the warranty starts to lapse? That's where it gets interesting. Meet the villain of this story. It's not a disease. It's not bad luck. It's time. Operating as the most indifferent accountant who has ever lived, time doesn't hate you. Time isn't punishing you. Time is simply closing out an account that was never meant to stay open, and it does this with zero sentimentality and no regard for your feelings about it. Start with the eyes, since that's where we came in. Inside each eye is a flexible lens that changes shape to focus, controlled by a tiny muscle. For 40 years, that lens is soft and springy. Then slowly the proteins inside it stiffen, the lens loses its flex, and one day you're standing in a grocery store holding a box at arm's length like it personally offended you. The condition is called presbyopia, literally old eye, and it arrives with almost comic punctuality in your early to mid-40s. It is the single most reliable clock in the human body. Now the skin. Your collagen, the scaffolding that keeps skin tight, has been declining by roughly 1% every year since your 20s. You didn't notice because 1% of a full tank is nothing. But compounding is quiet until suddenly it isn't. By your 40s, enough of the scaffolding is gone that the face in the mirror starts doing things your face has never done before. Then the muscle. Starting around 30, you lose muscle mass every decade, as much as 3 to 5%, and it accelerates as you get older. Less muscle means less strength, a lower resting burn, and a body that responds differently to the exact same life. And your VO2 max, the ceiling on how much oxygen your body can actually use, the truest measure of your cardio fitness, has been dropping about 10% per decade since your 30s, faster if you've been sitting still. Eyes, skin, muscle, heart, all sending in their revised contracts around the same window. The accountant is going line by line through everything the warranty used to cover and quietly stamping each one no longer included. He is not cruel about it. He is worse than cruel. He is neutral. Which brings us to the thing everyone gets wrong. You've been told your entire life, at 40, your metabolism crashes. It slows down. The furnace that used to burn everything you ate just winds down. And that's why the weight creeps on, and there's nothing you can do about it. That is a myth. And we can prove it. In 2021, a team of researchers published a study in the journal Science that measured the actual energy expenditure of more than 6,000 people, from newborns to 95-year-olds, across dozens of countries, the most precise look at human metabolism ever assembled. And what they found detonated one of the most widely believed facts about aging. Your metabolism, pound for pound, does not decline in your 40s. It doesn't decline in your 50s either. From about age 20 to about age 60, it is essentially flat, a steady, stable line. The great metabolic slowdown that everyone blames for everything. It does not happen when you think it happens. It doesn't really begin until around 60. So sit with the obvious question. If your metabolism isn't slowing down, why does almost everyone gain weight at 40? Because the change was never in your furnace. It was in your life. Somewhere in your 30s and 40s, you started moving less. You got the desk job, the commute, the kids, the exhaustion. You lost muscle. And muscle is metabolically expensive tissue, so losing it lowers your burn. You kept eating like the version of you that played sports and walked everywhere and slept 9 hours. The inputs stayed the same. The life around them completely changed. And this is the reframe that rewrites the whole video. 40 is not the age your body betrays you. 40 is the age your body stops covering for you. For decades, your biology quietly paid off your bad decisions. The skipped sleep, the missed workouts, the stress, the drive-through dinners, the warranty absorbed all of it, so you never saw the bill. At 40, the warranty ends, and every choice you've been making finally starts showing up as an actual visible result. Your body didn't change. It just stopped hiding the receipts. So that's your body. Now here's where it gets genuinely surprising, because the strangest change at 40 isn't physical at all. It's happening in how you feel about your entire life. For decades, economists and psychologists have tracked human happiness across the lifespan, surveying hundreds of thousands of people in more than 100 countries, and they keep finding the same haunting shape. It's not a slow decline, it's not a steady climb. It's a U. Life satisfaction is high when you're young. Then it sinks year after year through your 30s, and it bottoms out at the lowest point of your entire adult life somewhere in your mid to late 40s. Statistically, mathematically, across cultures and continents and income levels, the hardest stretch of the human emotional life lands right around the age we've been talking about. This is real. It has a name. They call it the midlife low, which sounds like the bleakest fact in this entire video, until you look at what the U-shape actually means. If 40 is the bottom of the curve, then 40 is also the turn. It is the point where, statistically, it stops getting harder and starts getting better. People in their 60s and 70s consistently report being happier than people in their 40s. You are not standing at the beginning of a decline. You are standing at the bottom of a valley, at the exact moment the road starts climbing again. And your mind is doing something else that nobody warns you about: a trade. There are two kinds of intelligence. Fluid intelligence is raw processing speed. How fast you solve a brand new puzzle, how quickly you juggle information. That one peaks young, in your 20s, and slowly fades. That's real. That's the thing you feel when a name won't come to you. But crystallized intelligence, your accumulated knowledge, your vocabulary, your judgment, your ability to read a situation and know how it ends because you've seen it 40 times before, that keeps climbing into your 50s, into your 60s. Some measures don't peak until later than that. You are not getting dumber at 40. You are trading raw speed for something that took 4 decades to build and cannot be shortcut. Depth. The 20-year-old computes faster. The 40-year-old already knows the answer. Now let's stop and address the skeptic in the room, because you might be thinking, this is just decline wearing an inspirational costume. Trading speed for wisdom sounds a lot like a consolation prize you hand someone who's losing. Isn't all of this just a nicer way of saying you're going downhill? That's a fair challenge, and it deserves an honest answer. So here it is. Yes, some of this is real, permanent loss. Your VO2 max from age 20 is not coming back. The lens in your eye is not going to unstiffen. There are systems that genuinely decline and do not reverse, and anyone selling you 40 is just a number is lying to sell you something. It isn't just a number. Something real is happening. We should be adults about that. But here is what survives the objection, and it's the part that actually matters. Nearly every system that declines at 40 still responds to load. This is not motivational fluff. It's one of the most robust findings in all of physiology. Put resistance on a muscle at 40, at 60, at 80, and it grows back. The studies on this are not ambiguous. People well into their 70s build measurable muscle. Train the cardiovascular system and VO2 max climbs at any age. The brain builds new connections in response to challenge for your entire life. So the decline is real, but the helplessness is the myth. Those are two completely different claims, and the accountant only enforces the first one. The warranty ending doesn't mean the machine stops working. It means the machine finally requires you to be the one who maintains it, which, it turns out, is the whole point. So step all the way back and look at what 40 actually is. It is not the day your body starts dying. It's the day your body starts telling you the truth. For your entire life up to this point, your biology has been an incredibly generous liar. Covering for you, absorbing your worst habits, letting you believe that whatever you did or didn't do, it didn't much matter, because you woke up fine anyway. That was never true. It was just hidden. At 40, the hiding stops, and every input you feed yourself, the sleep, the movement, the food, the stress, the way you treat the people around you, finally starts showing up as a visible output. Nothing is absorbed silently anymore. Everything gets recorded. That sounds like a curse. It is actually the first piece of honest feedback your body has ever given you. For 40 years, you were flying blind, and it felt like freedom because you never saw the consequences. Now you can see them. The people who age well are not the ones who were handed a better warranty. They're the ones who, right around now, stopped ignoring the receipts and started reading them. So, the next time you catch yourself in a grocery store, holding a box at arm's length, squinting at the tiny print, don't panic. The box hasn't changed. Your eyes did. The same quiet signal you've now learned to read. Your body isn't failing you. It's telling you the truth. One small, honest signal at a time. Everything really does change after 40. But not because it's over. It changes because for the first time in your life, you can finally see the bill. And you are still, right now, early enough to decide how you want to pay it down. So here's the real question, and I want your answer in the comments. If 40 is the year your body stops covering for you, what's the first thing you'd change while you still have the time?